So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing a recent pickup of mine. It's something that is kind of been on my radar for a while. It's a flanker from YSL, and I feel like it's one that often gets overlooked. Now, in the fragrance community, there's not really any hype around it. It's not really talked about much, but it does seem to be pretty well received. If you want Fragrantica, it gives, the reviews are about a 4.1. If you go to like Macy's or Sephora, all the reviews tend to be pretty good, upwards of like 4.8 out of 5. So those who try it seem to actually like it. It just, for whatever reason, is not hyped the same as the other, the original, or L'Eau Noyette. But this one it's a newer one. It's not brand new. I think it came out in 2015 or something like that. 2014, 2015. But it's relatively new. And it is YSL Homme Intense. So these were rebranded. It used to be called Parfum, and now it's called El Intense, and it is the same fragrance. So you might see, sites talk about two different versions of it, but what you're getting with it is indeed the same fragrance. I love the color of this, that amber color. It's beautiful. The tops on these are kind of tacky, big plastic, tops, but the bottle itself is beautiful. So, as with most, YSL fragrances, you get a nice atomizer. What you get with this is anybody who's familiar with the original Homme is going to, immediately be reminded of that. You have the same DNA. And anybody who has tried the original Homme knows that it is something that is a very good formal fragrance. It's a masculine fragrance, but it still has something about it that makes it powdery. There's florals in it, but yet there's still woods and spices and citrus opening, which really kind of just gives it this well-rounded fragrance that is kind of limited as far as versatility goes. You're not going to wear it in the winter, or not in the winter. You're not going to wear it in the summer. You're not going to wear it in the high heat. It's a very good formal fragrance, and for the winter, for I wouldn't really wear it in office, but like going out date night, or black tie event, or anything where you really got to get dressed up. I think it's good for any sort of business setting. Now, this one takes that. There's some addition of leather. The tonka bean is removed. There's suede. There's a few other things in here that really change it up. You still have florals. The original spices, the note of spices that was in the original is taken out. And this one's been changed up, but you still have the same, you got a citrus opening, bergamot, and I believe lemon, and then you got violet leaf and a couple of florals in the mid. Then the base still has that woody notes with the addition again of leather and tonka beans removed. You have suede. Now, what this is, it's called El Intense, and people complain that it's not intense, and they go on about the performance isn't, this doesn't perform, therefore it's not intense. But that's not what the marketing behind the name is. What it's supposed to be is a more intense scent profile than the original, in the sense that it is heavier, it's more dense, it's a deeper kind of scent. It's going to, just have a much more prominent presence, and this does that. So this, I think, because of that, is less versatile than the original. The original is still limited, like I said, to those settings, but this it's very strong. It projects very well, and because of that, you want to go light on the trigger when you use it, but you also want to make sure you're not going to be offending people. So where I would wear the original one in an office setting, this I might not. I think it's good again for date nights and like galas or whatever you got going on. That is more of kind of like a formal, atmosphere. But work, you might offend some people. But you still get the same kind of vibe. It is literally, as the name says, just more intense. Now with that, it's sweeter. I could see this being cloying for some people. I could see some people being turned off by it because of its sweetness. I like it, I really do. I do think it leans more feminine, or at least on that side of the spectrum than the original. It comes off as more powdery than the original, and just more intense. It's more in your face. It projects better. Now, I will say performance on this for me was actually pretty good. For a YSL fragrance, I got 6 hours out of it. Became close skin scent after about the first two, but it was still there for about 6 hours, which isn't bad. It's certainly, if you're going to a formal event or anything like that, this would get you through it. And that was just me testing it yesterday. I just got it yesterday, and I literally just sprayed myself once, and I could smell it 6 hours later. Now, again, it became close skin scent, but I can only imagine if I actually sprayed myself multiple times, it probably would have lasted a lot longer. The problem with that is the one spray I had was projecting pretty well. So I think if I would have done my normal routine, done 5, 6 sprays, it would have been way too much, okay? Especially in the opening. Once it dries down, I think it would have been fine. But nonetheless, this is a great scent. The powderiness dries down or goes away in the dry down. It's not as in your face. You still get the florals, a little bit of citrus. You can definitely smell the leather. Yeah. And it just works really well because I think the leather, helps make it more masculine. It helps balance it better. But the florals just give it that really good kind of scent profile and vibe that I think works really well in formal settings. It comes off as just being, romantic, professional, high class, similar to like Rock Rose or something like that. I think these are kind of the similar profiles, scent profiles, and similar situations you would wear the two, along with, Dior Homme Intense or Dior Homme or anything like that. These are all kind of in that same niche as far as versatility goes. But I do enjoy this for the money. I suggest picking it up if you're a fan of the line, or if you've never tried the line, but you are a fan of, say, Dior Homme. I suggest picking this one up. It's really, I don't know, it's good. My fiance likes it. I haven't worn it enough to know how, the compliment factor is, or if it's going to be really mass appealing, but I believe it will be. And I think the reviews kind of say that it is, to support that it is. Again, while it hasn't really been talked about much, the overwhelming majority of people that have tried it, based on reviews, are satisfied with it or happy with it. Now, if you don't like the original, you're not going to like this. It's just more in your face version of that with some slight nuances that kind of change it up. But it takes the powderiness to a higher level. But again, you get the leather in there, it just kind of makes it pop. So anyway, I do think for the money, this is a good buy. Just be aware that you're not going to get more than probably about 6 hours unless you go heavy on the sprayer, but at that point you're going to be choking people out. So I certainly wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, $50 for 100 ml bottle, definitely a good pickup. I really do enjoy the YSL line, so for me it was worth a shot, and I will say I'm not disappointed. I'll certainly be hanging on to it. So that's my thoughts. Again, it's nothing drastically different than the originals. If you have the original already, you probably don't need this. If you want to try the original, but want to save a couple bucks, or you want something that's going to perform a little better, I'd pick this up. Projection's great as well, so it's good overall.